Erika Jayne breaks down over legal troubles, Sutton and Crystal bury their drama, and much more on today's Real Housewives of Beverly Hills recap. Hey guys, welcome to another shared news from home. We have all the drama from the latest episode of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. But before we get into it, if you are new here, make sure you subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. As always, I'm your host, Morgan Wright, joined today by the wonderful Zachary Reality. Zach, on a scale of 1 to 10, how good was that last episode of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills?
I'm gonna go with like a 7 because it was really good. We got those raw moments from Erika. I also kind of enjoyed the beginning scene with Crystal and Sutton, but a large portion of the episode was some Zoom calls. Everyone had COVID. It takes you back to that time when you had COVID or just the quarantine was at an all-time high, and it just wasn't fun. So I'm kind of looking forward to next week when they're able to get out of the house.
Yeah, so let's start just at the beginning of the episode with Crystal and Sutton. That drama has been going on and on and on and on for weeks. And it seems like it kind of hit a breaking point and things definitely got worse before it got better. You know, they were feuding at the beginning of the episode, but eventually we did get some resolution. They both agreed to move on. Zach, do you think that this is really the last of their feud?
I actually do think it's the last of their feud because everyone really came together, and especially Garcelle and Erika. They were like, ladies, this is enough. Like, this is getting so ridiculous. This has been drawn out for over like 6 episodes. There was this scene there where they flash back to Lake Tahoe, and it literally said like a month ago, and they're still talking about it. I feel like Sutton like just needed to have that breakdown and just like get all of her emotions out. And, Crystal had to throw in her last few jabs. I think that this will be it for the Crystal Sutton feud. I'm sure it'll be reignited and talked about again, like maybe at the reunion or later in the season, possibly. But I think in regards to this particular fight, it's squashed. It's done.
Yeah, I agree. And I hope that it's squashed because as a viewer, I'm getting tired of them fighting about the same thing every single week. But something different. This is the first time that viewers saw the reports of Tom's embezzlement accusations playing out in real time, right? We all remember where we were when we heard they were getting divorced, and then we're seeing lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit. But this is the first time we're seeing it actually on the episodes. So the first time they address it, they're on a Zoom. It's Kyle, Lisa Rinna, and Erika Jayne. Now they're on a Zoom because Kyle, Dorit, and Kathy Hilton all came down with COVID.
Mhm.
So the cast had to quarantine for 2 weeks. And even the producer asks Erika Jayne, in an interview in the midst of this scene, why are you named in a lawsuit about his legal career? And she doesn't have an answer. She also said he hasn't given her a dime. So a lot to unpack. The Zoom is the first time we see Erika talk about what's going on. What did you think of that scene?
It was a little weird because I saw The Housewife and the Hustler, and Erika Jayne was listed on many court documents, on many different things with Tom's law firm. Erika Jayne was listed as a secretary. So it makes me think that Erika might have been lying a little bit. I don't think she was involved in any of the lawsuits. She obviously just she doesn't work at the law firm. She's not a lawyer. But I think because her name was signed on so many papers as Tom's secretary, that's why she's getting dragged into things.
Yeah, and it only continues to snowball throughout the rest of the episode because the next scene, we see the housewives in two separate scenes. So, on one hand, we have EJ, Rinna, and Crystal together. And then in another scene, we see Garcelle and Kyle. They're all talking about what's going on with Erika, but we kind of jump back and forth. But one thing that I noticed out of both of these scenes is that everyone seemed to be sticking by Erika Jayne's side right now. Are you surprised by, for lack of better term, the blind loyalty that all the girls have towards Erica as more and more headlines started coming out?
No, I don't think it is blind loyalty. I think it's sticking by your friend, especially because the news are just coming out. Kyle talked about it in her interview bite. She kind of said, she is innocent until proven guilty. That's my friend. I want to choose to believe her. I think that her friends need to have her back while times are tough. Erika also said during the episode that you want to know who your real friends are. Go broke, go to jail, see horrible things that happen to you, and see who sticks by you and see who is gone. See who's really only there for the good times and who's there for the bad times. I think that's what true friends are. And I think that Erika has made some really solid true friends on this show. And that's why they're going to stick by her. And if things end up snowballing more and more and Erika ends up revealing to be this awful person, then maybe they won't be able to stand by her side, but I think they should stand by her side as her friend.
I do think it's interesting that the one housewife we didn't see in this scene was Sutton. And we all know a big blowout is coming between Erica and Sutton. It was on every season trailer, the dinner party where Erica looks like she's about to bite Sutton's head off. So, like I said, without Sutton being in either one of those conversations, it's kind of alluding to the fact that maybe Sutton is going to be the one to question Erica a little bit, to push back on what she knows and what she doesn't know. Do you think Sutton is going to stick by Erica's side, or do you think that she's going to be a bit skeptical of her?
I mean, I think Sutton should be skeptical of her because Sutton doesn't know Erica that well. She's only been on the show for a year. I think the girls that have been on the show for a long time with Erica over 5 years have been Lisa, Kyle, and Dorit. So of course they're going to stick by her. But some of the newer girls like Garcelle and Sutton and maybe Crystal, I do notice them questioning Erica a little bit more because they just don't know Erica as well. So if I didn't know Erica as well, which I obviously don't, I would question her too. But if she was my loyal friend for 5+ years, then I would have her back the way I see the other ladies having her back. I mean, there is so much news about Erica at this point in the show. Every single day there's a new headline. So if you have not known her for more than a year or so, of course you're going to question things. And I think that the blowout is going to be absolutely crazy because Erica is going through such a hard time and she does not want anyone coming at her right now, especially on national television. She does not want any of her co-stars maybe adding fuel to the fire. So I think Sutton needs to needs to walk on thin ice if she's gonna talk to Miss Erika Jayne.
And I don't think Sutton is good at walking on thin ice. So we'll see how that goes. And I think to your point, it's interesting because we did see Garcelle say to Kyle, Kyle, you've known her a lot longer than I have. And Kyle's kind of like,
Mhm.
yeah, this does not ring true to the person that I've known for the past 5 years. So Garcelle's still getting to know Erica. We'll see how that plays out. But also, as a viewer, we're getting to know the one and only Kathy Hilton. This next scene I thought was really good because we got a sister scene specifically between Kyle and Kathy, where Kyle breaks down over her daughter Portia's struggle during COVID, something a lot of parents probably were able to relate to.
Mhm.
But then we also got a little bit of backstory between the relationship between Kyle and Kathy, because I know, anybody who has watched the show for a very long time, things have not always been good between Kyle and Kathy. They have their ups and downs. And even with Kim, sometimes they're talking,
Mhm.
sometimes they're not talking. Are you enjoying seeing more of a sister dynamic between Kyle and Kathy? And do you think we'll get more of that this season?
I'm loving the Kathy Kyle duo. I think it was a really sweet scene because they have been at odds for many years and now they can truly support each other. And Kathy said that on the show that her and Kyle truly are there for each other. They have her back. And that was a very relatable scene. Anyone with a teenager, obviously we do not have kids, but anyone with a teenager, I'm sure really related to that scene of Kyle struggling to be a mom with her daughter who's like 12 years old being antisocial. I mean, the pandemic was really hard for kids. I feel like they couldn't go to school and that's really all they know. Go to school, go to activities, see their friends. That must be so hard as you're developing. So I really sympathized with Kyle. I mean, she is going through it right now with her daughter Portia, and she can't be there for her right now because she has COVID, so she's locked away. I also felt so bad for Dorit because I know what a great mom Dorit is, and she couldn't see her kids for 2 weeks, and her kids are only like 4 and 6, and they were like crying, like seeing like, "Mom, I'll get COVID, I'll get COVID." So I felt so bad for Dorit as well.
Yeah, this episode we got to see a lot more of the kids. Obviously, Kyle
Mhm,
talked about Portia, Dorit talked about her children, but we got to meet Sutton's daughter, Porter. We also got to see Lisa Renna
mhm,
FaceTiming with Delilah. It's nice to kind of see their families expand, especially because Sutton was a friend of last year. We didn't really get to see
mhm,
her as a mom
mhm.
or anything like that. But unfortunately, it all just got overshadowed by Erika Jayne's drama, because that's what everybody wanted to see, especially this final scene. Zach, the mascara tears was just Wow, what a scene that was. So, just to kind of give you a quick recap, Kyle and Erika, they meet outside, and Erika just immediately has a breakdown over all the headlines. Some of the things that she said to Kyle, she said, I have such a story to tell. I can't tell it because it's not the right time. She said that she would go to hug Tom and he wouldn't hug her back. And finally, she addresses his deteriorating health. She said, you can't see well, you can't hear, you're degrading in front of me and you're ignoring it. I mean, that scene like really made me feel some things, but I want to get your thoughts on it first.
Mhm. It seems like Tom is a stubborn old man. I mean, Erica was telling Kyle that she tried to be supportive. She tried to be the wife that she was to Tom and that he just kind of ignored her. We never got this from Erica over the years, but now she's finally opening up about her real relationship with Tom. And I kind of felt for her. I really did feel for her. I felt like she's been going through it. It's been taking her a lot of time to leave Tom because obviously she's been struggling for years, but she also said something very interesting towards the end of the episode. She said, it took so much courage to leave him. And within 2 minutes or 2 days, someone is so quickly to call my marriage a sham and say that I'm leaving to get the assets. And then I kind of felt bad for her because I can't even imagine how much courage it takes to leave someone you've been with for 20 years, who's providing for you financially in this huge house. And now Erica is truly becoming independent on her own, going into her own house, starting her own life. It took a lot of guts for her to leave that marriage, as it does to leave any marriage, regardless of the money. So I feel bad for her in that way. And I think that she, has had a very tough year. And I think she's going to have another tough year. And I don't know what's going to happen to her legally. I don't know if she's going to go to jail, get kicked off the show, go down with Tom. But, Tom is bringing her down on a sinking ship. And she's truly, truly in for it.
Yeah, I go back and forth because Erica was my favorite housewife for a very
Yeah.
long time. I really enjoyed her. I enjoyed, Erika Jayne, Erica Girardi, the whole thing was just so fascinating to me. But I think what aggravates me as a longtime Erika Jayne fan is that now that all of this is coming out, I don't know which part of Erica is the true part of Erica. Because for the past however many seasons she's been on, Tom has been a supportive husband and let her do whatever she wanted to do. And that's the reason why I love Tom, is because he lets me be myself. And now all of a sudden, he is dismissive and angry and non welcoming of her.
Mhm.
So it's like, are you lying now? Were you lying then? Is the truth somewhere in the middle? It just is hard for me as an Erika Jayne fan or
Mhm.
former, I'm still kind of
Mhm.
undecided to believe what she's saying. And there are some inconsistencies, when she sat down with Crystal and Lisa Rinna, and she's telling them, you guys, you need to look at your bank accounts. You need to know what's going in. You need to know what's going out. Well, now that we know that Tom deposited $20 million into Erika Jayne's personal business, EJ Global, did you miss that transaction somehow? How did you not know that $20 million was in your bank account from Tom? Also, I don't want to age shame or anything, but she did say you're getting older, can't see, you can't hear. She used the term degrading. And then in a promo for next week, she's saying that he's hooking up with other women. And I just have a hard time believing that somebody who's on his way out is going to be on Bumble or Tinder or meeting girls at the firm. So I'm just very conflicted. Obviously, this will have to play out a little bit more, but let's get some final thoughts, Zach, on this episode overall. Erica, overall, where do you stand?
I mean, don't come for Tom like that. 80 is the new 30. Tom could be living his life. I mean, from
No,
what
I'm
I've
not
gathered,
age shaming at all. Not at all.
I feel like, I guess from the promo, I feel like Erica's relationship has just been kind of a sham for a long time. I think it started off as she was the trophy wife and it worked best for both of them, but they seem to have grown apart over the past few years, especially. And, you don't really want to talk about that when a marriage is struggling so bad. You don't want to talk about it to everyone until you know where you stand. And now that she's out of the marriage, she's free to talk about how she really feels. So I feel like she's been struggling for the past few years internally in the home, and that's why she hasn't shared. And now she's preparing to be more open about her life and be more real and vulnerable. I really hope that Erica can come out of this on the other side, unless she was more involved than she's leading on. But from what I've gathered from last night's episode, I feel bad for her. I feel like she really did get dragged into it. She was manipulative, I do believe, in a way. She manipulated Tom, but she wasn't happy in her marriage, and I hope that she finds happiness one day.
And before we go, I have to get your thought on the mascara tears because this is all over the internet. People are like, "Are you kidding me? $40,000 a month on glam and you don't know to wear waterproof mascara," kind of alluding that she did it on purpose. I mean, I'm not going to nitpick her on whether she chose to use waterproof mascara or not, but what I did find interesting was that not one time did she try to wipe away her tears, which I feel like is a common reaction for any human being who's like sobbing hysterically to at least try to wipe your face once. And she didn't. She just kind of let it stream down her face. Did you find that odd, or do you think we're all just looking into it too much?
I mean, I think she had to make some budget cuts since the divorce. Tom wasn't giving her any more money since she left the house, and she can't afford waterproof mascara anymore. So she has to buy the drugstore mascara. And honestly, though, Erica's going through it right now. Like, this is the midst of things. She is devastated. Her world is shook. How could you not feel for her in at least one way? Whether she was involved or not, her entire world is shaken upside down. I am not judging her by the way she is grieving throughout this divorce and through this process.
Yeah, and just kind of wrap it up, I saw a lot of people online, and myself included. I thought this at first. I was like, okay, all I hear from Erica this episode is poor me, poor me, poor me, poor me. When there's victims of, there's orphans and widows and all these people that you and your husband owe millions of dollars to, like, chill with the poor me. There are bigger problems, bigger fish to fry. And that's what I was like annoyed with. I was like, okay, all I'm hearing is that you're upset that everybody thinks your divorce is a sham, but I haven't once heard you say, I feel bad
True.
that my husband scammed these people out of millions of dollars. However, now when you
True.
dissect that a little bit more, I did see some people say that if she says anything about the victims, it's pretty much admitting guilt. So maybe her lawyers prepped her to not say anything about that. Her social media use throughout the past 6 months still just makes me like, ugh, whatever. But like I said, Zach, only time will tell. We are getting through the season and it is so juicy. I mean, for however much she's going through it, it's making for good TV. I know that sounds horrible to say, but it's true. You guys,
Yeah.
let us know what you think in the comments about all the stuff that's going on with Erika Jayne. Any comment you want. I know there's a lot of opinions. And before you go, make sure you subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any Housewives updates. Come say hi to Zach and I. We're always talking about the Housewives on our social media channels. Our handles are on the screen right now. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.